Hey guys, been with Red Dirt Chilies. I wanted to do a quick overview of my gardening experience. This is for the 2023 season. Mostly just to tell you which peppers I think would be a good addition to your garden, but also just in generalities. First, hydroponics to me aren't really worth it. It's a lot of work. For some people, they say it is, but for me, I don't know. If I didn't have pepper bacterial leaf spot, I might say that is the case, but I never really got to harvest because there's just so much sickness going on, and I really need to start prepping the garden for the 24 season pretty soon. I mean, with the next month or two, it's mid-December right now, or early December. So yeah, I mean, that could have been the issue, but I'm just not super into hydroponic gardening personally. I've done it for a couple of years now. I really haven't harvested anything though, which, like I said, isn't good. But I don't know, I just like it more outside, naturally. It's just not really my jam. Let's see what else. Drip gardening, I really like that on a timer. I would really recommend looking into that. That was great. As far as the strains, for lack of a better word, varieties of which peppers, I'd probably put them into three groups. The definitely, grow. I would say grow, maybe grow, don't grow. And the definitely grows for me would be the chocolate skunk, the chocolate apocalypse scorpion, the chocolate scorpion, which is a landrace. Those three to me are just incredible. I love them. The skunk, I'd say, was probably my number one pepper. Very high heat, great endorphin profile, smooth burn, pleasurable burn, very aggressive grower. The pods take a long time to ripen, which that does suck. I don't like that, but and the chocolate apocalypse was an incredible flavor as well, kind of medicine-y flavor, which is kind of odd, but I kind of like that. It's very strange. Pretty decent producer, not as good as the skunk or the original chocolate scorpion, but it did okay. The pods were very large and bulbous, which I really like that. I know that's all pheno, but I did like that anyway. I probably would have grown that if I could have again, but like I said, I have pepper bacterial leaf spots, so I'm not gonna be able to do that. I have to just recycle all new seeds this year from seed bank people like Red Hot Chilies or whatever. And then the chocolate scorpion, the landrace from TNT, Trinidad and Tobago. One of my friends' family is partially from the Caribbean, and she corrected me, so I can't remember which one it is, but it's a landrace strain, which means it's from before all this happened. It's like one of the original strains of super hots. It's really hot. It's a throat burn. So I mean, another thing too, you have to kind of think about is like, what is your use case? For a lot of people watching this, and even in the pepper super hot community, you're not going to be eating them. You're going to be putting them in powders and sauces and etc. But for me, I do want a good pepper that is a good eating pepper, even though my body doesn't like that too much because of my diseases, but I do like to do it. So this might not be as relevant for you, but for me, the throat burn is not too big of an issue when I eat the chocolate scorpion, but you do have to get used to it. It's kind of annoying at first, very annoying at first. And then you kind of, I don't know, you just kind of get used to it, and it's like, okay, it's really a shocker when it's a very heavy throat. So the chocolate scorpion is a throat burn, but it is very woody, smoky. It's one of the most flavorful pods I had, and I really haven't, I don't know if it's because I have long COVID or had COVID, but flavors for me are very difficult. I do have bad soil. I did test my soil, and it's low in like every category, so maybe, but my plants were fairly healthy looking, and they were diseased, but they were still fairly healthy looking. They weren't expressing a lot of disease. So, and I did feed them a lot, like 2-3 times a week, sometimes 4 times a week, which that was too much, but 2-3 times a week. And anyway, I would say my personal number one would be the chocolate skunk. But a lot of that is the endorphin profile. It got me really high, and I really like the way it got me high. But in general, I would say for everyone watching this, the number one pepper for the general community would be the chocolate scorpion, which is crazy because it's a land race, but it grows like a monster. I mean, it really grows fast. It really ripens fast. It's got great burn. Probably not as hot as the Reaper, just to give you like a base, everybody knows the Reaper, but pretty close. The Chocolate Reaper that I had was also really good like that too, but I'll kind of wait. That's kind of part of a different category, but it's very hot. It's very flavorful. It grows very well. It's probably my best grower, probably, as far as the super hots go. The Gator Jigsaw was a heavier grower, but I don't really consider that a super hot. So I wouldn't even consider that very hot. It's like not even really hot. It's like cooler than a habanero. So for flavor, it's okay. But anyway, so yeah, the pepper I would recommend that you grow if you're gonna grow one. Like if I was gonna grow one, I've really thought about just growing the chocolate scorpion. They're just great peppers. I love them. They're so good. They're great in powders. They're great when you eat them. They're amazing. I mean, you can tell that that was like hundreds of years of people, putting love into that variety. The second category I'm gonna talk about is possibly grow. These aren't bad peppers by any means, but I just, Primotalii red, Gator Jigsaw, the original red Apocalypse Scorpion, the T-Rex mustard, T-Rex chocolate, the chocolate Reaper. These are all good peppers. I don't think I have any more. Oh, the JPGS Scorpion and I'll just leave that at that. Those are kind of the ones that, I would consider growing all of those. They all have their strengths, but they also have weaknesses. Like the mustard, T-Rex mustard is very hot, looks amazing, but I don't know, the flavor wasn't great. I'm not really super into mustard pods. The T-Rex chocolate is great, and I probably should put that actually in the grow category, but it didn't quite get as high marks looking back as the other chocolates. It was hotter than most of them. It was one of the hotter peppers I had, which I did like that, but looking back, it was good. These are all good to okay, these are all solid. Like JPGS Scorpion is a very heavy grower, pretty hot, but the flavor wasn't there. The endorphin profile wasn't quite there. A lot of these things too are going to be individual tastes. Like you might not like the medicine flavor of the chocolate Apocalypse, but I did. I thought it was quirky and interesting. The JPGS Scorpion, you might get a good buzz off that endorphin profile, but I didn't really. They're all good, the red Primotalii, it's hot as heck. It is so hot. And I did love that about the pepper. It was a very aggressive grower. I was blown away with how aggressive it was as a pepper grow. I was like, wow, this is like one of my most aggressive peppers. It's amazing. Same with the Gator Jigsaw. But as far as the Primotalii goes, it's not obnoxious by any means. I would say maybe a little, not much though. It's really not. It's really a good, decent burn. It's very, very, very hot. It's the hottest pepper I've had, but it's just pure heat. It's just pure heat. It has no complexity. It is not, the endorphin profile is not there. The flavor is not there. It's just pure gas, all gas, no brakes. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I mean, it's good. It's incredible to see what we can do as a collective, but I'm not sure. That's just my feeling. It's like, yeah, that's good. And next year, I'm definitely gonna go grow chocolate Primotalii, and I've thought about growing just pure chocolate Primotalii, like 70 plants, like just nothing but chocolate Primotalii, because that's really what I'm after is the capsaicin, but. That's my feeling. Is it's good. It's good. It's not great. I would like to cross it with something else. Maybe even back crossing it to the chocolate scorpion, you know, like that if I could. I have a disease issue, so I will not be able to do that. But that would be something to think about for me personally, is like, I'd like to kind of expand its palette for sure. And maybe it's even its endorphin profile. I mean, it's just a little lacking. I mean, the heat is incredible. It's obviously the hottest pepper, you know, but as far as the Gator Jigsaw, not super into that one. Decent, strange flavor, but not heat. I'm not into growing non-super hots. Like, I am not gonna kill myself growing all these plants when I could they don't have the kick. I have to have the kick, and they don't have a kick at all. I mean, they're not hot. They're maybe 100,000, maybe 50,000. Like, they are not hot peppers. Maybe they might be 150. I don't know, around the hundreds. And that's just not my jam. I'm not looking for that. That's not what I'm into, and it's not for me. But you know, it's a good pepper though. It produces easily my heaviest producer. That thing produces like a monster. I mean, good Lord. It's just not for me, you know, but that's something to consider. The ones I would say, the Chocolate Reaper, I have to say that as well. I really like that. Was probably one of my top ones, but it doesn't produce enough. They're very small pods. I really don't like that about, and Reaper in general, I put Reaper in there too, is that they're very small. They produce a lot, but they're very small. I'm not super into that. I like bigger, meatier pods. And I loved it. It is a great burn. It's probably my best burn this year, frankly. But it doesn't have a good size. It just doesn't produce nice pods, like big pods. They're cool looking, but they're too small. I just don't, that's got to mark down for me. You know, so. The ones I would say do not grow, the avoids, Brainstrain red. My God, the gut bomb of all gut bombs. It is horrible on your gut. And I have a very sensitive stomach. I really have struggled doing this. Eating these pods, and that one, good Lord. I mean, it's worse than Primotalii. It is a gut destroyer. It is horrible. And they're big pods, they're meaty. They're very, very meaty, very, very meaty. And they're very hot. It's a very hot pod. It's definitely, you know, it's hot, but it's for how bad the gut is, it should be much, much, much hotter. It is a brutal gut bomb. So I would say avoid that one. Avoid, you know, this is just my experience, but I would say avoid the Leviathan Scorpion. I'm going to grow that again next year, so I probably shouldn't say that, but the genetics are so unstable, like, good Lord. I mean, the pods were small, they were really hot, but yeah, that did not work for me. I didn't like all that variance. That was not cool. Also, the yellow Primotalii was very hot. Produced like a son of a gun. You know, one of my heaviest producers, but terrible flavor. The flavor was so bad. It's just, you know, I guess it's not terrible. But it's bad. It is not good. And I would just not grow that. I would not recommend anyone grow that. And then the other one, the Pink Tiger times Peach Bhut, I wouldn't grow that either. I mean, you know, a lot of those like novelty ones, like where they're, I don't know. I'm not into that personally. They look great. You know, it's one of my better looking pods, but not for me. I wouldn't grow that. I wouldn't recommend growing it. There's one other big one I'm forgetting, but I can't remember what it is, so I'll probably cut the video short now. The Brain times Scotchbonnet. Do not grow that. The reds are fine. They're probably deserving to be in the maybe grow, but they're so unstable. If they go yellow, they will taste god-awful. They are the worst tasting pepper I've ever had in my life. And the burn is like, okay, it's kind of obnoxious. And it, you know, that it's so unstable. It's like, you're gonna get reds, you're gonna get yellows. I just would not grow that. If you see it around, just skip that one, like, for sure. And I think that is about everything. So I just wanted to give my quick thoughts. I'll leave like a thing in the description about the categories. Hopefully I can remember everything, but that's, generally what's going on. And I will be starting my 24 garden, probably in December, so in about a month, maybe a month and a half. Might start in January. I haven't really decided yet. You know, I go back and forth with Oklahoma and the weather. We have, you know, one of the worst growing conditions in the U.S. probably, with our tough winters. Then we have the most extreme springs in like the globe, potentially. And then we have very brutal hot summers, so it's tough to know when to grow, when to get stuff out, but I will be starting probably pretty soon. I think I'm gonna end up doing like 50 varieties, so I need to get better about organization, but that'll be fun if I end up doing that. If I don't end up growing just like one variety, which I still might do that, but if I end up growing like 50 varieties, it'll be fun, you know, kind of like see, you know, about, you know, endorphin profiles and heats and burns, and, you know, really going to be stepping out into a brave new world. So hopefully all that goes well, and I'm just going to give that a little update video so you guys can kind of, you know, plan your garden out a little bit. And if you're considering, you know, super hots, those are some that I would consider. So hope that was helpful, and you guys stay safe out there, and have a good holiday season. Cheers. Bye.